Hi everybody, Tyler here, and today I have my weekly WIP Chat. When you see this, it will probably be Tuesday. That's when it's going to be posted. But you'll notice this isn't my Drills and Chills canvas again. And the reason for that is we'll go into it. But this is the only section, and it's only a partial section, that I have left of Flower Buns. So I think I'm going to finish it with you tonight. But I'm so excited. It is such a pretty canvas. If you have been on the fence about getting this one, I will totally enable you to get it right now. It has been very fun to work on. It's got some nice color blocking all around the outside, and then it's just massive confetti on the inside. And looking at it in the camera right now and like the monitor, it's even prettier. So I'm very excited to give this to the person who will be receiving it. It is a gift. And again, I'll go into that a little bit more in a bit. I'm going to pause really fast, bring you down into this section that I'll be working on so you can actually see what I'm doing, and I'll be right back. And we're back. So this week's actually been super duper good in terms of all the stuff that's been going on. Work will always be work, but I am kind of creating boundaries to my workday. In the morning, I play. This may sound really silly, but just bear with me. It works really well, and I highly recommend it. I play the Doggyland affirmation song when I start my workday, and it just gets me in the mood to go through my day. And if you are aware of the research of affirmations, it does work. It feels weird if you're not accustomed to it, but that song, even though it's made for kids, is so good for adults as well, and it's kind of a jam. So every morning when I'm playing or making my coffee, I have started to play that song, and even on work days, I actually play that song when I make my coffee. But I start my day off with that song, and then at the end of my work days, I have started playing Deo, like the one from Beetlejuice. And that has really helped me bookend my day. And it's helping me create these mental boundaries and just neural pathways to close the door on work. And it's also giving me kind of a fun way to transition into the end of the day or a new part of the day. So I've really enjoyed that new, not habit, but process. And I'm doing okay with remembering to do it as well because it's fun. So if you have a habit or something that works for you, I would love to know what it is down in the comments below, just because I am open to things that work for people. I historically have not been great about self-care, especially work from home. I have kind of been known as a workaholic, so I'm trying to get better about that. And this is like a small step, but I could always use more steps in the right direction, and some people are really good about creating those self-care boundaries. So if you have tips, tricks, or you just even have anything like research that you read about, I would love to know what it is. I'm all about learning. So that's just a little piece of how the week went. In terms of what went on, not much happened at the beginning of the week. Monday was pretty quiet, just standard work. Tuesday, I got to go to Taco Tuesday. I think I mentioned that in my last WIP Chat. That was something that we were going to set up as friends. So went to that, saw some people that I hadn't seen in a really long time just because of surgery. Still seeing people for the first time since surgery. And not a lot of people ended up going to dinner. We did the meetup for our game, but it was just really nice to see people that I hadn't seen in a while and get some good laughs in. And I just realized that I am putting the wrong color in the wrong place That is okay. So it was just nice to see friends. And after that, so we went to dinner, and just as a side note, I think it's easier to take these off with my fingers sometimes. Not the squares, but right now with rounds. As I say that, I can't get them off. So went and saw friends on Tuesday, hung out with friends for dinner, had great tacos on Tuesday. Wednesday is where it starts to get a little more interesting for the week. I had an ENT appointment, and things went good. That was my just 2-week standard post-op. But last time in 2023, I only had 1 2-week post-op. And sorry, I am just a disaster tonight with drills. And that was it. So 2-week post-op, got the blessing of the ENT, and didn't need to come back. But this time, ENT said, hey, I want to see you in another 2 weeks and make sure the graft is holding, or something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing. But I'm not nervous because my doctor and I are on really good terms. If he had said, hey, I'm concerned about the integrity of the surgery, blah, 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 he would have told me. But the fact that I have to go back does have me a little bit nervous in the back of my mind. Part of the reason I do think he wants me to go back is the fact that my supervisor is really pushing for me to travel this fiscal year. So I think he really just wants to make sure that I am safe to travel, which thank you, physician, for keeping my health in mind and making sure I'm safe. But I don't know. It's not scary. It's just a little intimidating, I guess. I will say today I got a phone call from their office because I forgot to schedule that 2-week appointment. So, oops. Thank you to them for following up with me. It's not like me to forget to schedule appointments like that, but I did. And then, let's see. Thursday was like the big day of the week. So I did mention last week that I was going to do the frou-frou dinner or the fancy dinner. I don't remember what I called it. But that was there. But in the morning, I went and got a pedicure, did some self-care. So I did do a little self-care, y'all. And my lady who's done my toes for a really long time, she always gives me loving grief. She's kind of like a mom. And when I go in there and I take my work with me, she basically scolds me and tells me not to work. But I always try and go in there and get my toenails painted black. I like having, like, I like all of my clothes are black. I wear jeans in black. My clothes are black. It's not like I'm a hardcore goth, but I always wear black. I like black. See? Black. You'll notice in a lot of my videos, if you haven't already, I usually have black nail polish or dark nail polish on. It's just how I roll. So she always teases me and gives me a little bit of grief for the fact that I don't get color on my toes. And she goes, black, it's summer, or anything like that. So I compromised with her and I got purple on my toenails for Halloween. I was like, okay, you know, I can handle some dark purple. I was going for oxblood initially, but I couldn't find the color that I wanted. And my compromise with her was I would do purple, but she had to put a spider on it and spider webs. So I still have my little cutesy spooky toes and my little spookiness. They're not black, but they have a little bit of dark to them. Next time, I will be going back to my black nail polish. I feel entirely too how do I even want to put it? Colorful, vibrant in terms of what I am wearing. And I am just way too accustomed to I'm a creature of habit. That's all. I am very much a creature of habit. I have 3 different black nail polishes, if I counted correctly, in my own nail polish collection. I like my black nail polish, y'all, but it is what it is. Side note, the Essie Licorice nail polish, I just used it for the first time in a while, is fabulous. And 10 out of 10 recommend. It is like a 1-coat black. So it's very good for spooky season or every day. So I got the pedicure and then was planning to go to this culinary event with hubby, and he comes home from work and I can just tell something's wrong. And he comes in, he goes, "How was your day?" And I go, "My day was a little weird, some work stuff." He goes, "Yeah, me too. I have a migraine." And I was like, oh, this isn't going to turn out well. It was like 4 o'clock and we had to be there at 5, or let's just say 3:30. And so I'm like, okay, well, you should lie down. Just go lie down and we'll figure it out. Worst case scenario, I can take myself on a date, right? And so he doesn't start to feel better by 4:15, and I go into the bedroom because that's where he's laying down, and I go, "Okay, how you feeling?" He goes, I think you need to go without me." So I felt really, really bad for him, and because I know he wanted to go, and I think he felt bad that he needed to go, have me go without him. But there's nothing you can do with a migraine like that. Our weather's been topsy-turvy here, and that's kind of what throws he and I both for a loop in terms of sometimes when we get headaches. So I completely understand. And I could tell, you can just tell when someone doesn't feel good and they have a headache, right? So I go into thinking mode about who can I invite with about an hour to go, who is a meat eater, red meat eater in this case, doesn't have food allergies, and can get to the location of this dinner in about 30 minutes. That's a pretty limited group of people, because the first person I thought of immediately is vegetarian. And with the limited amount of time that we had, I couldn't call the event coordinators and say, "Hey, I have a vegetarian. Can you please accommodate me?" If it had been 3 days prior or a week prior, no problem. But no way could we have done that. I could never in good faith do that to them in 30 minutes or an hour, right? They just couldn't prep the kitchen in time. So, or the meal. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying. So I called our neighbor first and I said, "Hey, what time are you going to be home?" Because initially I was planning on going and visiting her after dinner to trim her dog's nails. And she goes, 6 o'clock. And I went, okay, like in my head, I was like, that's not going to work. So the next person I thought of was one of my friends who's retired, and I texted her and I got no response. And about 10 minutes rolls by and I just in my head went, I need to call her. She never ghosts me. She never not responds. So I call her and she answers the phone, and it's this really groggy response. Turns out I woke her up from a nap. So I felt really, really bad, but she told me that she couldn't go, but her daughter, who's also a friend of ours, could. So turns out that I ended up having a really, really nice dinner date with a girlfriend of mine who I hadn't seen in a long time. And it was just this really nice, almost comedy of errors dinner that she was able to make it to. By the time I had talked to her and given her directions about where to go, I think she had about 25 minutes to get there before service started. And so I am incredibly grateful to her for her flexibility. And it was the first time she'd been to one of these dinners with us. And she had a lot of fun from what she said. And I am so grateful that she was willing to go out on a limb and be my my date for the night. I have no problem having to go somewhere by myself. I've taken myself out to dinner and lunches many, many times. It's quite nice, actually, if you haven't done it before. But in this case, I didn't want to go by myself. It's one of those events where it's very social. It's a multi-course dinner. It's fun to say, oh, what do you think of that meal? Or, wow, that's delicious. So it also was one of those things where I didn't want to leave the seat open. I don't know. I'm really glad that she was able to go with me. And when I got home, hubby was feeling a little bit better. He didn't feel great, obviously, but he was looking a little better and he was able to eat something. So it all worked out. And then I was able to go take care of the neighbor's dog as well. So she was home, trimmed his nails, and as far as I know, that sweet puppy still is mad at me. He's been giving me the cold shoulder since I trimmed his nails. Nothing happened. I didn't cut him. He's not having it. So that was most of Thursday. The other piece that happened on Thursday, and why I am working on this canvas, is because I got a Facebook message from a friend of mine from middle school and high school. And she lived out of the country for a long time. And she moved back to the States this year, like very recently. And she initially was going to come back to the area to visit around Thanksgiving, which awesome, right? We were going to try and do coffee or something, and I was going to give her this canvas, which she requested. I had originally said, hey, do you want flower buns or bouquet? Like, I think both these are beautiful and they remind me of you. Anyway, so she said, hey, like, I really love flower buns. It reminds me of anime, and she really, really was drawn to this one in the same way that I thought it reminded me of her. So she messaged me on Thursday and she said, hey, my plans have changed. I will no longer be coming into town around Thanksgiving. I'm going to be there the first week of November. I don't know how that affects our ability to see each other, but do you think we might still be able to get together? And I said, absolutely. I would make room in my schedule to see you. However, in the back of my mind, there's a bit of minor panic going, oh, this canvas is not finished. It's not even close to being finished. I've been working on drills and chills and all kinds of other things. So I went from having this canvas probably 60% done or 50% done, let's say 60, to 95% done since I talked to her on Thursday. Again, or maybe I didn't mention this, I don't know where I am in talking about numbers with this canvas, but I worked on this canvas 14 hours between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I've been booking and really trying to get this done. That way I can order either stretcher bars for it or the magnetic hanging bars and get it just really cleaned up on the edges. So I'm really excited to see her. I'm really excited to have her come visit. But I did realized that I need to get going on this canvas, and there really is no time anymore. It's not do or die. That's really, what's the word I'm looking for? Over the top. That's not the words I was looking for, but it works. It's not, there's no more time for me to fiddle fart around. I need to get it done, and then I can work on the finishing touches, and then I can give it to her. The beauty of a diamond painting is I can put it in a box and I can either mail it to her, or she can take it on the plane, frankly. So I've done that several times with paintings. I just put it in the box and then I take it on the plane with me, depending on which airline she's flying. Some of them are definitely more strict than others, but Southwest has always been pretty good to me about allowing me to walk on with the box. What I do is I just stick it behind me when, like in a backpack, I stick it in between the straps on the back. So if these are the two straps, like I put the canvas in between the straps on my back. And then the canvas just fits really easily underneath the seat, or it fits along the wall near the window. So, sorry, in my brain, I know exactly what it looks like. I've done it many times, but explaining it, I'm realizing is not that easy. So, essentially, it either fits under the seat or you shove it against the wall near the window. I've also stuck them up in the overhead bins, but that always gives me the willies because I'm terrified it's going to get smashed. So, anyway, I digress. So, Flower Buns will be done ASAP. I will either post about it or I will make note of it when I finish it. I'm hoping to finish it tonight, but it's looking like that probably isn't going to happen just because I've got a ways to go. There's a lot of color blocking, but because of all the confetti and because I'm chatting, it's a little bit slower. So that was Thursday. Thursday was a big day. Lots going on. Friday night was another good night, but it was a craft night, and that's kind of when the marathon of crafting and getting just hours logged of work on this canvas started. I had one of my craft nights that I do. It was on my calendar, and so I took this over with me to that location and started hanging out with friends and working, or pretending I was working sometimes, because it's kind of like a stitch and witch. Don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. You can fill in the blanks if you have ever heard of those events. So I spent a lot of time hanging out with friends. What I found to be funny during that is I always bring a diamond painting with me, or in the past I would bring crochet projects, but now it's diamond painting. And when I took this one out, people automatically thought it was a new diamond painting, and I had to explain that no, this was the same Flower Buns diamond painting, that it was not finished. So I appreciated that my friends thought I was working so quickly on certain diamond paintings, but I have not. My number of finishes for the year is substantially lower than I care to admit, but it is what it is. So it was fun, though. I really enjoy spending time with fellow crafters. I would like to do a diamond painting retreat someday. There's not a lot in the area that I live in, so I don't know. I keep my eyes open and my ears open. I know there's a diamond painting retreat group on Facebook, and there's been some chatter about setting one up kind of towards the area I live in this area of the United States, but we'll see. As a lot of people who have looked into them know, they're also kind of expensive. So just a lot of pieces to that puzzle in terms of deciding whether or not I would like to participate in one down the road. But it sounds fun. Who doesn't want to hang out with people who like to craft and understand what you do? And, it just, sometimes it's nice and refreshing to just be able to interact with people who understand your hobby without having to explain it. It's nice. So yeah, that was Friday. And Saturday was kind of another big day. I mean, Saturdays are DAC drops, so I picked up the new Margaret Morales, and then I wanted to get to free shipping, so I went ahead and bought the other new arrival from the 28th of September, which was the kitty cat. It's like this little dark void kitty. I don't remember the artist's name, so I apologize. I think it's Jeremy something. I'm not going to look it up right now. I might look it up when I'm editing and put it on the bottom, but that was a nice way to start Saturday. I actually didn't intend to buy anything on Saturday because I didn't know that the final release or sneak peek for the week was the Margaret Morales. And so I was thinking I was not buying anything this last week. And so I got to like 10:15 in the morning, and I just kind of was curious. I clicked into the app to see if anything had sold out, just for curiosity. And then my heart skipped a beat and I went, oh no, I missed one. And luckily, I feel very fortunate. I was able to still pick it up because I would have expected that piece to have sold out. I always see the Margaret Morales pieces sell out immediately. So I don't know. Maybe someone was watching over my shoulder to that buy, but I will take everything I can get. Usually I'm the person who's checking out immediately on, the VIP diamond release, whatever the heck it is. I'm usually checking out at 9:01 a.m. So like it's concert tickets. So it was nice to see that there was still items left in general release. That was nice. And the other thing that I was working on during the weekend was people started to get their Halloween mystery boxes. I had decided that I was not going to order a mystery box because I didn't think that there was going to be anything in them that I needed or wanted. The reason I say need is because I collect all of the Spanglers, and I have all of the Mrs. Buttards except for one. I need to get that Mrs. Buttard. One Mrs. Buttard, which I will eventually find and get. Right now it's not the priority. But I did not expect there to be a Spangler and a Mrs. Buttard in those mystery kits. So I was a little bit shooketh when I saw that there were both of those items in the mystery boxes, and realized I was going to have to find them on DStash. And I was expecting to really have to pay a lot for them, frankly. I did not know what I was looking at. I was expecting to hurt. And I was very, very, very lucky that a wonderful human being sold them to me at beyond a reasonable amount of money. I am waiting for them to get here still. So there's a piece of me that is still kind of holding my breath. But I am so grateful to Sarah H. for helping me out to keep my collections complete, because she did not have to help me out. So if you're out there, Sarah, thank you. If I ever meet you, I would love to give you a hug. It's a little crazy to me with mystery kits. I have mixed feelings about them because on the one hand, I'm sorry, not mystery kits, mystery boxes. Mystery kits, whatever, they're fine. I have mixed feelings about the mystery boxes because on the one hand, I get it. It's about the hype, right? But if I just knew who the artists were, or even if DAC said, hey, we have this list of possible artists, even if they don't release all of them, right? If they said, hey, we have, kits, it could be one of these 10 artists. That would give me a much more educated, I can make more educated guesses or informed decisions. That's the words I'm looking for. I can make much more informed decisions about my purchases. And I get it. I totally get it. I get the FOMO. I get why they do it. Trust me. But at the same time, I would have bought that box immediately if I had known that one of the artists in there was Spangler or Mrs. Buttard because of the situation. So that's not a gripe in terms of like, I'm not going, ew, no, they're terrible people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if I could and I could tweak some things, those are the things I would tweak. And the reason for that is because it would help me as a consumer and I would buy more. I would buy more, DAC. So I will actually be doing unboxings of both of those kits once I receive them. But for now, I don't have them in hand. So I'm expecting them in the next week or two, depending on how weather is looking across the country. Weather has really been messing with the mail. So once I get them, I'll let you know. I'll probably talk about it more in like next week's WIP Chat. But that's where I am with that situation, with the mystery boxes. I did get the Christmas one last year, and I remember how insane Merry Mindy was. I ended up getting one, and I remember just how insane it got. So I got rid of mine to someone who I think was similar to the situation I'm in with the Mrs. Buttards and the Randall Spangler, and she was just so sweet. So it's one of those things where it is what it is, but it's nice when people are not price gouging in destash groups when they can, so that people can afford to get the kits that they love, right? And that's not to throw shade on anyone who sets higher prices. I want to be very, very clear. Everyone is able and want to be clear. I want to be clear about that. Sometimes kits are worth what people are willing to pay for them. So, but I am extremely grateful to the person who helped me out. And that's where I'm going to end on that, because I'll just keep tumbling and possibly putting egg on my face. Sunday Funday was exactly that. I got to talk to my bestie, and she let me, well, we just kind of checked in. I'm very fortunate that my bestie is one of those human beings where I can just go without talking to her for a couple months, and we're fine. We're good. So I got to catch up with her, and I hadn't talked to her in a while in terms of seeing where she was at, and I heard a lot about some of the stuff she was working through, so it was good to catch up. And then she and I ended up on the same Zoom call later in the afternoon. So it was like we talked, and then we visited again, and then it was just kind of a relaxing day. Again, I spent most of the weekend when I was sitting down watching people play video games and then diamond painting. Sorry, I don't know why my brain could not compute. So it was, if I wasn't talking with someone on Sunday, I was diamond painting. I think I spent 4 hours on Sunday, but Saturday I spent pretty much my entire day. So it was nice. It was relaxing. One of our friends is currently doing I want to say it's a Let's Play. It's not a Let's Play. But one of our friends is currently using Parsec to play Final Fantasy X with my husband, and I'm watching as they play through it. And it's just bringing back so many memories of when I played it. So that's been a wonderful way to have entertainment and nostalgia and just someone and something there while I'm diamond painting. So we have been spending a lot of time together on the computer and together on Discord. So I've been diamond painting a lot while spending time with friends. Again, I was talking to my best friend. That was on the phone. But Zoom, I also was diamond painting. And it was funny because my friend, when I talked to him on that Zoom call, the one who was hosting, he goes, "What are you working on?" And he meant work. And I was like, "I'm not. I'm actually doing a hobby." So it was nice to not be working. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what's going to come up this week. And the good news is it's all good news. I don't foresee any icky stuff this next week. This afternoon, hubby asked me out on a date. I thought when he stopped to ask me if I wanted to go somewhere, I thought it was going to be one of those like, "Hey honey, you hurt my feelings," like really good communications but not great conversations. And it was totally the opposite. It was, "Hey honey, do you want to go on a date this week?" And I was just like, "Oh wow, that was not the conversation I thought we were going to have." So I was like, "Of course." And it's, even though we've been together for a really, really, really long time, it's still really nice to just be asked out on a date by your partner, right? So that was really refreshing and nice and splendid. And so we're gonna do that later this week. And we already figured out where we're gonna go. And then what else? I had something else. We have date. Work is good. Work is good this week unless something crazy and unexpected comes up. And our friend is still working their way through Final Fantasy X. They are actually out in the other room playing right now. So once I'm done here, I'm going to skedaddle over there. And I will be finishing this diamond painting. I don't know how I could forget that. So I'll be finishing this diamond painting, and then I'm going to hopefully just ramp up and work my way through my second Drills and Chills canvas. So that'll hopefully be another finish by the end of October. That is an ambitious finish. I don't know if I will get Magic Arcades done, but I can set that up as a goal. It does not hurt to have that as a goal. So if I work on it at the speed I've been working on this one, I might get it done. So we will see. Like I said, I have intentions to do the unboxings for the 2 mystery box kits when they come in, and I have a stack of I think it's my 4 or 5 boxes of DAC deliveries that I need to do like a mini haul unboxing for. So that's another thing it's on my list to do. But other than that, I'm going to say it's going to be a good week, and I'm going to keep saying that until it comes true. And I'm having one of those moments of gratitude where I'm looking back at how September was and just comparing it to now, and it's just already so much better, even though things at work in particular are still just chaos. I'm okay, and home is okay, and because those things are okay, I am okay. I can make it work. So, hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. If there's any questions you have or any kits you'd like to see me unbox, please let me know. I probably have them if they are Spangler or Mrs. Buttered. I have, I think the number is getting close to 300 now. So, and the stack is now as tall as me. So, if there's something you'd like to see me unbox, please let me know, and I would love to go ahead and do that. And I hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday. Take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.